back with the show, the oddities. This, I guess, would be considered auditing. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit of a story. Back on the island. Those of you maybe that just stumbled across the channel or whatnot, or maybe even just a video randomly. I used to live on the island of Hawaii, and so I I was very blessed with having really cool friends, and they were all a lot of most of the time. All my friends were at least 10 or more years older than me, and a lot of times because they can teach you things. I worked a job, one of the last construction type carpentry assistant framing job I ever did was with my buddy, and if he's actually listening to this or happens to see this, he knows who he is. All right. So I did this one last job. That was the last kind of job like that I did. I was still in my later, I was in my 20s. I definitely know that because I was not, the aches and pains didn't set in yet. But anyhow, I worked this last job with him. And he's the one that turned me on to this framing hammer here, which is a stiletto. It's a titanium. This one here is a 14 ounce. Actually, looking back at his, thinking when once I picked this one up, I think his was a 12 ounce because I think I recall his being on the driving end a little bit stubbier. This is the packaging it came in. I just ordered mine because around my place that I'm at now, we're actually doing concrete forms and some framing work and things that I'm doing on my own with the help of my buddy. A lot of help from my buddy out here to help, do some stuff, make a gazebo and all that kind of stuff. So, hey, you know what? So back to my friend back in Hawaii, taught me a lot of, I learned a lot too going through all these jobs and just being an assistant, really, an assistant, a carpenter, making cuts. I would always say the dumb cuts where they, wasn't, if I screwed up, it wasn't that bad. They weren't going to send me to go cut a $700 piece of trim. So anyway, this here, I just bought this a little bit on the hammer too. The whole point of this thing is it's like, there's nothing to it. It's really lightweight. So if you're spending a lot of years wielding one of these, it's going to save your elbows and stuff. I'm not exactly, 25 or 30 anymore. So the elbows are starting to hurt and everything like that on me. So this is kind of like this is, in a sense, I think, I don't know, what did these been around for maybe 20 years or something. I'm not sure exactly, but he had one. And the story was, I think that what he told me, and I'm trying to remember, and I can't exactly remember what he said, but when he went to the tool shop, there was a specialty tool shop in town, and he was getting looking for a framing hammer or something, and I think it was the guy had talked him into it. He said, hey, this is the new thing on the block or whatever, the bee's knees, you got to get it and all that kind of stuff. And these things are, okay, this is not a $50 framing hammer. I'm not saying that is a cheap, hammer, $50. I mean, come on. These things are like, I've heard these things cost anywhere from like 150 to $100. I think I paid about $100 for mine. They're very expensive. So for a hammer, I'm talking about a hammer here. So anyway, he got, I believe it was, he got talked into buying it, and I'm not saying it's a bad hammer, okay? I'm not saying it's a bad hammer, but he got talked into buying it, and then he's like, okay, fine. So he buys it, and he gets it, and he's and the guy in this place is like a no returns policy type thing. Most of these places are, they won't accept returns. So anyway, he gets it. He does slides his car, lays his cash down, whatever, and gets the thing. And on the way out, the guy says, "Well, don't pull nails with that." So I always kind of remembered that. So, and he kind of stops and he's like, "What? What do you mean?" Like, so so on the job site, we obviously he had this wasn't I wasn't there when he had first had bought it. He had it for a while by then, And so he told me that story because he told me about the hammer. And so that was like always the big joke on it. Don't pull nails with that, Like, he'd hand me the hammers. Don't pull nails with that. So, um, kind of thinking, what does that mean? I start now that I have one. What does that mean? Don't pull nails with that. What do you? I mean, that's what What? Why would I not pull nails with it? I just paid $100 for this thing. It better pull nails. Um, what I think, at first I was thinking, does it mean one of these claws will bust off? I don't think so. Looking back now, I'm like, this is titanium. It's not going to happen. I don't think that's that's what it is. What I think it is it's the handle basically just shearing off from the head. That's what I think it is. Uh, because if you think about also the angle here, this is more of the goat head, not like your basic standard standard hammer, which is smaller, where it's got more of a curvature to it. I think it's the idea of it probably doing that and then wrenching on it, and you got this big longer handle, so you got a lot more leverage on it, and I think you might definitely separate or damage the handle is what I'm thinking. Rather than if you got your nail, rather than doing it this way, you do it this way. You could do that, or you could put the like take something else and put it under there, and then that way you get the a little bit extra leverage. Um, I would say probably if you're pulling a lot of nails or something, you should probably have a cat ball with you anyway. But anyway, I thought that was kind of a funny story that I kind of remember. But anyway, that is how I actually knew about this hammer. I think it's a really good quality hammer. Obviously, I bought one because I wanted to, because I like the fact that it's lightweight and all that. And I like quality stuff. I do. I don't mind paying up a little bit for quality. I did think about the fact that I did know that Harbor Freight has their version of one, and some people really don't like Harbor Freight. I like Harbor Freight. I've got two sanders, a belt sander and an orbital sander that I bought from Harbor Freight that I've had for uh, quite some time, definitely more than 3 years. And they've done quite a few jobs. I wouldn't say they've done a lot of heavy duty, prolonged 8 hour day jobs, but I've definitely utilized them for a lot of stuff. Um, and they're still holding up today. So I don't mind that. But anyhow, they have one of these hammers made by Doyle, and I looked at it, and I got mine on Amazon. That's where I purchased mine. It was like $90 after it was shipped and everything with the tax theft. It was a $105 or $104, something like that. So anyway, and I got Prime, so I didn't pay for the shipping. So shipping's free. That's always. I mean, if you're ordering a lot of stuff, definitely that's the way to go. But anyhow, yeah, it was like $89 or something like that, or $90, something like that, 90 something dollars. So what I'm getting at is the Harbor Freight one by Doyle is $70. So when it comes to that, that's when I go, you know what, for like if it's like a $20 difference, I'll be more inclined to probably get the real thing, the OG or the name brand. I know sometimes like that's iffy on name brands, but I'll be a little bit more inclined when it literally is that kind of a difference. Now, if the Harbor Freight one was like say like $30 or $40, I'd probably be a little bit more lenient to probably get that one. To be honest, I would, but not when the differences was that small. I figure, you know what, I'm gonna get the other one. Not saying that the Harbor Freight one's bad. I'm sure it's good. I'm just saying that for the money difference, I think I'd rather have that one. So anyway, if you like these kind of stories, I mean, it's not terribly exciting, but it's just something I remember going back, and I just recently picked that up and doing some stuff on on my backyard and everything. We're going to be doing some framing for formers for concrete and possibly making a gazebo. So anyway, pick that up. So thanks to my friend for turning me on to that and teaching me a lot of things on that job site, because I did learn a lot from you. Definitely learning how to use different tools and stuff like that, especially framing hammers. So Awesome. Hope you're doing well, my friend.